Chapter 1. The Fog Descends. The morning sun bathed Viridian Vale City in a soft glow, casting long shadows across its cobbled streets. Birds tweeted their morning songs, and the gentle hum of a waking city filled the air. The picturesque metropolis, known for its rich history and iconic landmarks, was coming to life. Detective Pikachu sat at his usual spot, outside a quaint city cafe. With a steaming cup of oranberry coffee in front of him, he relished the quiet moments before the day's hustle. The familiar morning fog that often enveloped the city was rolling in. But Pikachu noticed something unusual. This fog was denser, almost palpable, and it didn't show signs of lifting with the sun's ascent. As the fog thickened, the city's vibrant sounds began to muffle. The cheerful chatter of residents turned to whispers of confusion. Pikachu, with his sharp ears, overheard snippets of conversation. I can't remember where I live. Who's that woman waving at me? She looks familiar, but... My own name. Why can't I recall my own name? Setting his coffee aside, Pikachu's detective instincts kicked into high gear. He quickly realized that this was no ordinary fog. People were losing their memories. But why, and how? He decided to visit the city's landmarks, starting with the museum. Perhaps there was some historical context or a clue to be found. As he approached, he noticed the museum's doors wide open, with visitors wandering aimlessly, their faces masks of confusion. Inside, the museum curator, an elderly man with spectacles perched on his nose, seemed equally disoriented. Pikachu approached him, trying to communicate. The curator looked down, squinting, and then recognition flashed in his eyes. "Pikachu? Oh, thank Arceus. For some reason I remember you. But my own exhibits, the history of our city, it's all a blur." Detective Pikachu nodded, scribbling down notes. He then made his way to the Viridian Clock Tower, the heart of the city. The tower stood tall, its hands frozen in time. Was this also an effect of the fog? He had to find out. As the day wore on, the fog showed no signs of lifting. Instead, it continued to weave its mysterious spell, plunging Viridian Vale City into a state of amnesia. But Detective Pikachu, unaffected and determined, knew he was the city's last hope. He vowed to pierce through the fog's secrets and restore the memories of its residents. And so, with the weight of a city's memories on his shoulders, Detective Pikachu's investigation began in earnest. Chapter 2. Shadows and Silhouettes. The fog hung over Viridian Vale City like a blanket, making the midday sun seem like a distant memory. The once bustling streets now echoed with uncertainty. Residents moved hesitantly, their conversations filled with confusion and a rising sense of dread. Within this thick veil of obscurity, Detective Pikachu continued his investigation. Using the city's lampposts as guideposts, he navigated the disorienting haze. Every so often, a shadow would dart on the periphery of his vision, too fast to be discerned, yet lingering long enough to pique his curiosity. Drawn to these fleeting apparitions, Pikachu found himself on a street he couldn't immediately recognize, even though he knew the city like the back of his paw. The towering historic buildings, usually so familiar, now looked eerie and distorted through the fog. As he delved deeper into the heart of the city, the fleeting shadows became more pronounced, coalescing into the unmistakable form of a Pokémon. However, its features remained obscured, giving it the appearance of a living silhouette. This silhouette Pokémon seemed to beckon him, leading him further into the depths of the fog. Remembering the legend mentioned by the museum curator, Pikachu pondered if this elusive creature was the source of the city's woes. But why? And how was it linked to the fog and the city's lost memories? Following the silhouette Pokémon, Pikachu reached a central plaza, where the fog was at its thickest. The creature paused, turning to face him. For a fleeting moment, their eyes locked, and Pikachu sensed a deep well of sadness and longing. However, before he could approach and communicate, the silhouette Pokémon vanished, leaving behind only the swirling mist. Frustrated but undeterred, Detective Pikachu decided to gather more clues. He recalled the ancient legends stored in the city's museum and decided to revisit the curator. Inside the museum, the atmosphere was thick with uncertainty. The curator, still one of the few who recognized Pikachu, handed him an old tome. The book spoke of a mythical Pokémon, with the power to manipulate memories. banished to the shadows for its misunderstood abilities. The clues began to align. Detective Pikachu theorized that this silhouette Pokémon was trying to communicate, to reach out from its banishment, but its attempts inadvertently caused the fog and the subsequent memory loss. Determined to unravel the complete story and find a way to lift the fog, Pikachu set his sights on the city's landmarks. They held the keys to the past, and he hoped, the solution to the present crisis. With renewed vigor, he ventured deeper into the mystery, following the trail of the elusive silhouette Pokémon and the secrets it held. Chapter 3. The Heart of the Mist. The sun dipped low on the horizon, casting an eerie reddish hue that blended seamlessly with the fog. The streets of Viridian Vale City, once filled with the laughter of children and the hustle of daily life, now echoed with silent trepidation. As Detective Pikachu journeyed towards the city's heart, the weight of the mystery pressed down on him. The silhouette Pokémon's fleeting appearances only deepened the enigma. Each encounter was a dance of shadows and light, with Pikachu always one step behind. The city's central plaza, once a hub of activity, now lay desolate. The fog here was so dense it seemed almost solid, and yet, at its center, a faint glow emanated. Drawn to it, Pikachu discovered a pedestal with an ancient inscription, barely legible through the mist. In shadow and memory, between light and obscurity, the heart yearns to be free. Pondering these words, Pikachu felt a presence behind him. The silhouette Pokémon had returned, its form more defined, its eyes filled with an ancient sadness. Their previous encounters had been brief, but this time the Pokémon didn't flee. Instead, it projected memories, flashes of a time when it was celebrated, not feared. A time before it was banished to the shadows, misunderstood and blamed for the very nature of its powers. The silhouette Pokémon's powers had once been used to preserve memories, to capture moments of joy, love, and adventure. But, over time, its abilities were misconstrued. The Pokémon was accused of stealing memories, leading to its banishment. In its loneliness, the silhouette Pokémon tried reaching out, only to unintentionally unleash the fog and further distort memories. Its desire for connection had ironically deepened its isolation. Detective Pikachu, sensing the Pokémon's pain and longing, approached cautiously. Using his detective skills, he communicated his intent, to help the Pokémon and the city. An unspoken bond formed between them, built on trust and mutual understanding. Together, they realized the key to lifting the fog lay in the ancient inscription. The heart of the mist wasn't just the city's center, it was the emotional core, the memories and feelings of its residents. To dispel the fog, they had to remind the city of its forgotten past, of the love and camaraderie that defined it. And for that, Detective Pikachu would need to delve deeper into the city's history, seeking artifacts and memories that could rekindle its spirit. With the silhouette Pokémon by his side, Detective Pikachu set out on this new quest, determined to restore Viridian Vale City to its former glory. Chapter 4. Night had fully settled over Viridian Vale City, with the moon's glow struggling to pierce the ever-present fog. Detective Pikachu, with the silhouette Pokémon now beside him, ventured forth to the city's most historic landmarks. Their first stop was the ancient library, a repository of the city's collective memory. As they entered, the atmosphere was thick with the weight of forgotten tales. Rows of dusty books lined the shelves, their stories yearning to be told once more. Detective Pikachu began to read aloud, stories of the city's founding, tales of heroism, love, and adventure. With each word, the silhouette Pokémon absorbed the memories, its form becoming clearer, its essence more vibrant. As they continued, they discovered old photographs and paintings depicting joyous celebrations, festivals, and community gatherings. Pikachu placed them strategically around the city, each a beacon of remembrance. The duo then approached the city's Grand Theater. Here they played old films and staged reenactments of the city's most cherished moments. The silhouette Pokémon, using its unique abilities, projected these memories into the fog, turning the mist into a canvas of moving images. The city began to stir. Residents, drawn by the familiar sights and sounds, congregated around the projections. Laughter, tears, and exclamations of recognition echoed through the streets as memories were reignited. With each restored memory, the fog lightened. The city's heart, its emotional core, began to beat stronger, pushing back the oppressive mist. The silhouette Pokémon, once a figure of fear and misunderstanding, was now celebrated as a hero, its true nature recognized and embraced. As dawn approached, the last remnants of the fog dissipated, revealing a city reborn. The streets were alive with joy and gratitude, families reunited, friends embraced, and the once-lost memories now shone brighter than ever. At the city's central plaza, a ceremony was held in Detective Pikachu's and the Silhouette Pokemon's honor. The ancient pedestal, with its inscribed message, was restored and placed prominently as a reminder of the city's journey and the importance of understanding and empathy. As the first rays of the morning sun bathed Viridian Vale City in golden light, Detective Pikachu looked on with pride. The mystery of the fog had been unraveled, and in its wake, a stronger, more united community had emerged. With a nod of gratitude to the Silhouette Pokémon, Detective Pikachu departed, his heart full, ready for the next adventure that awaited him.